Services for Leonardo's online merchandising group, and I'll be your host for today's event. By now, I think we are all aware that content marketing is the really hot thing out there, not just in hospitality, but in all industries. Why? Because it provides shoppers with information needed to learn about your product, and in our case, your property. It provides them information about its characteristics, its place in the community, what your brand stands for, and what the experience is going to be like. And it does it in a way that isn't selling. And as a result, the consumer is much more receptive to the message. So welcome to everyone around the globe today, and to those for whom it is the middle of the night, a special thank you for joining us live. A few housekeeping items before we begin. First, we're going to be recording the webinar, and at the conclusion of today's session, we're going to send you a thank you for joining us email with a link to that recording, which you can share or listen to again at your leisure. Additionally, you have a questions dialog box, and I see some of you have already found it, in your GoToMeeting panel. So as we move through our discussion today, please feel free to send in your questions, and we'll address them throughout the webinar as well as at the end of the presentation if we have time. We're going to be tweeting during today's discussion, so please feel free to join in the conversation at #LeoWebinar. So before we begin and I introduce our special guest speakers, I want to do a poll. And we do this to get a sense from you, the audience, of your thoughts on a particular subject. And in today's case, what we want to ask everyone is, what is your biggest challenge in implementing a content strategy for your hotel? So you have 4 answers to choose from. The first answer is how to create a basic content marketing strategy. The second answer is how to get buy-in for your content strategy from management. The third answer is I really don't have the resources or the budget. And then fourth is how to keep it fresh and up to date. So I'm going to give everyone just a minute or two to weigh in. So far, it looks like the leading answer is how to keep it fresh and up to date, followed by I don't know how to create a basic marketing strategy, and then how to get buy-in from management, and lastly, I don't have the resources or budget. So I'm glad that most people seem to have resources and budget, because that can be a tricky one. So the majority of you have voted, and in first place is how to keep it fresh and up to date. So thank you, audience, for participating in that. That's very helpful. Now I'd like to introduce our very special guest, Adele Gutman. Adele has over 30 years of experience in hospitality marketing, and Adele oversees sales, marketing, revenue management, public relations, and new hotel concept strategies and launches at the Library Hotel Collection, including brand initiatives, online marketing efforts, social media, electronic distribution, and most importantly, the unique Library Hotel Collection guest experience, which makes success in all the other areas possible. Adele has written many articles and has been a speaker at TripAdvisor's master classes. She does various webinars, conferences, and luncheons, as well as she is on the HSMAI Digital Marketing Council. Adele orchestrated initiatives that resulted in the ranking of her 4 Library Hotel Collection properties into the top 4 spots in New York on TripAdvisor, an achievement still unmatched by any other hotel group. Adele currently serves on the TripAdvisor Industry Leadership Council, and she and I are both on the HSMAI Digital Marketing Council, as well as the Greater New York Chapter Advisory Board. Adele has won numerous awards, including being recognized as one of HSMAI's 2013 Top 25 Most Extraordinary Minds in Sales and Marketing. Adele is a graduate of the Conrad Hilton College of Hotel and Restaurant Management at the University of Houston, and she'll be speaking on the 7 pillars of reputation management at the HSMAI Digital Marketing Conference next month in New York. So please join us there to hear Adele in person. Adele, welcome. We're very excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much, Darlene. I'm so excited to be with you today.
Excellent. I'd also like to introduce another special guest, Clementine Amero. Clementine is the creative director of Hotel Josef and Hotel Maximilian, both located in Prague, where Clementine works with the general manager to find new ideas to impress guests and attract travelers. She's also in charge of the property's social media accounts, the website and blog, including a popular video series called Praguing Around with Clementine. Prior to joining the hospitality industry, she worked as a designer and brings her fresh creative ideas to the hotel industry. Clementine holds a bachelor's degree in design as well as a bachelor's in English and American Civilization and Literature. Welcome, Clementine. We're also very happy to have you.
Thank you very much, Diane. I'm happy to be here today.
Content is synonymous with storytelling, and when you share valuable information about your hotel and personalize it through the lens of your story, you really can connect with travelers on a deeper level, and it makes them feel good about their decision to stay with you. Solid content and storytelling really should be a permanent fixture in your marketing strategy, and today's hoteliers know that content marketing provides helpful and useful information to hotel shoppers to help them choose you, which is really, really critical in a changing and very crowded digital marketplace. So at this point, I'm going to reintroduce Adele. And Adele, I'm going to give you control of the keyboard and mouse, and so you can take it from here.
Thank you so much, Darlene. I love to talk about content marketing for a few reasons, and one of which, of course, anyone will tell you that content marketing is wonderful because you have relevant content on the internet that is drawing customers, potential customers, straight to your website. And it's not that you're selling to them, they're finding you because they're looking for that kind of information that you have out. Anything that can bring people straight to your website is great search engine optimization. And in our hotel collection, the library hotel collection, we have small boutique independent hotels with because they're so small, we don't have a budget for such things. We have to always be trying to think of how we can use our wits and our ingenuity and to be creative and clever to get people to come to our website and book our hotel, as opposed to spending money on any kind of traditional advertising or anything fancy. So I was glad to see that one of the lowest objections or concerns about content marketing, people are not as concerned about the budget, because you can do this with zero to no great investment in terms of currency, but you do have to invest some time and effort into it, and it will certainly pay off. Especially in these days where social media and the power of the consumer's voice through TripAdvisor and other review sites are so powerful in attracting people to your business. The old adage, word of mouth is the best advertising, has never been more true. There used to be a store in New York City called Sims, where their tagline is, an educated consumer is our best customer. And we've really kind of adopted that line ourselves. We feel that when we're putting out information that truly puts the customer first, even above conversions, the satisfaction, loyalty, and goodwill you will create will do far more to attract new customers and generate long-term profits than anything that you might gain from using superficial communications that do not authentically reflect the reality of what your hotel experience is. And so we will be very painfully authentic sometimes in making sure that guests have the information to know this is who we are. If you're looking for the most opulent hotel in New York, the Casablanca Hotel, may not be a good fit for you. But if you're looking for the most cozy, warm, and welcoming place where everyone will treat you like family, you have found the right place. And that's why the Casablanca generally ranks either #1 or #2 on TripAdvisor for the city of New York. And we're so proud that they also got a great Traveler's Choice Award.
Adele, it sounds like
For
you have
cause of content marketing. There's no real need to say or pretend that you're the most luxurious. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I
lost you.
You're cutting in and
Hello?
out, Adele.
Okay.
Adele?
Let me see if I can.
We can hear you.
If I can put the microphone closer to me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. So back. Great. So content marketing puts the buyers first, and it attracts people straight to your website. So in order to know what is the right kind of content for you, because each hotel has its own story and its own audience, you have to listen to your customers to find out what their needs are. And then when you're listening, either from reading reviews, listening to the questions they ask you in emails, listening to the questions that they might ask in your chat box, and listening to the kind of any kind of engagement they have, fill the needs. And we always say that the most important thing in our content marketing is help, not hype. So we don't want to come off as we're selling. We always want to remember that for us, the most important thing is to make the customer happy and to make sure they have all the information they need to make a smart decision. And statistics show that this is what customers really appreciate, and they're turned off and by bold selling. So this is the perfect way of communication for us. I'm pressing the thing, but it isn't moving.
Okay, I'll move it for you.
Oh, thank you so much. So we have a very practical approach that we started with in the beginning of last year, which we called our Trips for Travelers initiative. And basically, before I even mention to anybody on our team why, I simply asked every stakeholder in the company, meaning the directors of sales and marketing, the general managers, front office managers, and various other staff, reservations people, please tell me, write down for me, all the things that you wish your customers or the general public understood about our business. What is it that you wish that they knew because you're seeing that there is some misunderstandings, or that you're answering the same questions over and over again? And so we actually also looked at our reviews, we looked at our emails, we interviewed all the stakeholders, and we also added a little chat box to each of our websites, and we observed the kind of questions that our viewers to our website were asking about the hotel. And between the 4 New York hotels who participated in this, I would say 80% of the points that they wanted to make were in all 4 hotels, the same kind of content. So now we really knew what information we needed to find a better way of communicating. So once we made a master list of all of those things, and right now on the screen you can see one thing that we did that came out of it. Our staff were saying the guests or the public don't seem to really understand when they're booking the difference between a full-size bed, a queen-size bed, and a king-size bed. Perhaps names and sizes of different beds are different in the various countries. So let's put together a little, what we call it an infographic. It's just a homemade thing. We didn't have some fancy designer do it. We just did it ourselves. And with this, we made a blog post. We tweeted it. We on Facebook. And then we continually put that information back out there. For example, if somebody's sending an email from the hotel about these are the options, your options of room choices, and here's a link to our blog post about how to pick the best bed size. So this worked great. It gave our staff a tool that they could use to communicate, and we created this, and it took a little bit of time, but we recycle it and we put it forth in Pinterest, in Instagram, in Facebook, in Twitter, and all of these things have really helped reduce the incidents where somebody says, I didn't realize that a full-size bed was going to be that size. So this is the kind of thing that we call the spinach, because these are the kind of information that is actually good for the traveler. But in order to create a real audience, you also have to give them the candy. So I'll talk about that in a minute as well. So,
Adele, Maria from the audience has a question. You were talking about you put a chat box on your website.
yes.
She wants to know who monitors that and how often.
Oh, you know, what we do in most of the hotels is the chat box is not live. It's a place where people can just enter a question, and that goes in an email to 5 different people. And whoever gets it first will go ahead and answer it and copy the other people so everybody knows that it's responded to. At the library hotel, they keep it live all the time, and the front desk and reservations keep an eye on it, as well as sales. So somebody is always trying to keep an eye on it. But it does have a way, we do have a message that says, we may be helping another customer, so if we're not back to you in a minute, we'll send you an email later.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
So, yeah, so we use a company called Zopim, which is very affordable. Anyway, so once again, here's content marketing is not just making a blog for your hotel, although we do have a blog now that's called Tips for Travelers. We used all our tools of communication in order to get our messages out. So, you know, we were talking a little bit about each hotel has its own story. In some of our hotels, that story is very obvious, like the Library Hotel Collection obviously is for book lovers. But with Hotel Giraffe, we were trying to really define who we were. We're a lovely, softly contemporary hotel with beautiful roof garden. 1/3 of the rooms are suites. And then it occurred to us when when a few people wrote some beautiful reviews about how well we treated their children and how comfortable they were in a suite. And also somebody, we had a new hotel move in across the street, and a very posh hotel, very trendy. And then they quickly returned to us on the next visit saying it was a little bit too edgy for their parents and their children when they have a multi-generational trip to New York. So we saw that our fit was that for young contemporary couples who want something that is hip enough but also comfortable enough for their whole family, we have a lot of unique aspects to bring to the table. So we started really working on explaining all the benefits to families that we have that make us the most family friendly. And we put it on with pictures, especially on Facebook, on our blog, on Twitter. You know, we started reaching out to bloggers who blogged about family-friendly travel. So everything, even our website, all of this, press releases, everything was working together on the same cause. And then after a while, you start to see, oh, we're getting awards for most family friendly. Oh, look how people are saying, oh, they're posting themselves. Oh, you should stay at the Hotel Giraffe. It's the most family friendly hotel. So that we really know that this communication is working. So it's not just the SEO that is bringing people to the hotel because you had a blog post and you have certain keywords on it, but it's the actual content and the excitement about that content that leads to the sharing and leads people to the hotel. So we integrate all that throughout our communications. Now these are the top kinds of visuals that people really appreciate on your website and on your marketing. And of course, the old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words has never been more true. However, next slide, please, if you have it. But what we found is the most popular is a cat with books. This is the way it is. We know how we are. So this is what we call the candy. We try to post things like this that are the crowd pleasers. When people see a post like this, they say, this is the club I want to belong to. This is the kind of people I like to be around. I feel good about myself because I'm a fan of this hotel that has the same values as I do. And so this expands our reach. When we put out something like this, it says a little bit about who we are. And when we expand our reach continually by having these kind of crowd-pleasing images that just give you the feeling of who we are, later when we have important things to communicate, like why the Hotel Giraffe is the most family-friendly, or I have an infographic about how to choose the right tool to guarantee your payment at the hotel.
Adele, we lost you.
Candy, or new wide of really taking care of
Adele?
Pleasant stay without stress in the hotel. So as you can see here also, the Casablanca, if we talk about Times Square, if we talk about the theater, if we talk about when we share things that other people have, not only, instead of having just fresh content, because some things we do that are original content, but when we share other people's content, it also really helps to expand our audience. Next slide, please.
There you go.
So if we really want to get a lot of likes, we show a picture. When we want to get a lot of likes, we show a picture of our hostess team. They do such an amazing job taking care of our guests, and people will comment on this. And of course, we respond to every comment tagging the person's name in order to expand our reach. So this is the way we get a lot of engagement, even though it is not speaking directly to our key communications list that we made in the beginning of the year from our questions. But for example, we could take a post like this where we have we're talking about the birthday of our wonderful hostess that speaks 5 languages and takes such great care of our guests. And we could have here put a link to our blog post about all the wonderful things that are available at breakfast in the hotel, which was one of our key communication points. I decided not to do it here because I was talking about somebody's birthday and I thought it should be more personal. But that's the kind of interconnectedness and the recycling of information of our content that we'll do. And of course, we're always just reminding people of why they fell in love with us in the first place. So this thing, be yourself, everyone else has already taken, this is just a way of saying this is who we are, and this is who you are, so we belong together. Next slide, please.
Adele, this is a good question. Boris in the audience is asking, what's your advice as a good way for a small hotel with a low budget to make a press release? You mentioned the press release earlier. I guess Boris's hotel received a TripAdvisor award and wants to communicate that.
Oh, well, for TripAdvisor, all you need to do is go into the dashboard of TripAdvisor, and you will see that they have actually provided a standard press release that you can fill out your name of your company and your hotel, and you can just adapt and modify that content. I think that Kevin Carter at TripAdvisor has put something like that together. I haven't seen it for, I've seen it for previous years. I haven't seen the one for this year yet, but if you send me an email or tweet me or whatever, I'll be happy to send you a link to that to help you find it if you're having trouble looking for it. That's the easiest way for that TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Award.
And Victor in the audience earlier was asking about video, and so here you go, Victor. Here's your answer.
So we don't have a big budget. So video can be a little bit challenging for us. We did do a trade with an airline company who would for 2 months show our videos on board, and in exchange they gave us wonderful B-roll and a nice, one did a 90-minute video and another one did a 2-minute video. So that was great. That's a way of overcoming the investment issue. But here, you know, my boss always says that the success of the Library Hotel Collection is that we always hire happy people. So when the song came out with the happy and everybody was dancing to it, I had challenged the team across all the New York hotels to send me little 30-minute videos from their iPhone of them dancing to that song, and my assistant kind of just pulled them together and published them online, and within 7 days we had 1,400 views. So we thought that that was absolutely remarkable for something that was just totally free. And, you know, we did it also because there was a book lover, there was a book expo coming to New York, and we wanted to welcome people from the book expo so that when people Googled the book expo, they would find our video. And it worked out really well, and we're still very proud of that video. My boss shows it to everybody.
It's a great idea.
So, so great. So let's move on to the next. So how do I evaluate if my communications are effective? My number one thing is satisfaction increasing, and the best way of me knowing that satisfaction is increasing is I am getting, since we started with the way we're communicating what's included in our breakfast, we definitely decreased the number of complaints saying, hey, I thought there was going to be ham and cheese at this breakfast, or I thought there was going to be pancakes at this breakfast. So when we started, we definitely felt a decline of that. Also, the issue with people not understanding the way U.S. Credit procedures work, or this article here that we did about purchasing Broadway show tickets came from people not understanding that when they buy tickets from the hotel, it goes to a broker, and then there's a markup on the fee, and that led to some confusion and not trusting why are we marking up the face value of the ticket. So all of these things have really reduced the number of complaints because our team has a great way of communicating effectively in advance. So number 2 is, are my service team members happy that they have the tools to make it easier for them to impart helpful information to the guests? So a lot of people tell me that content marketing simply takes too much time. They don't have the time. So the way we do it is with a collaborative approach. We have everybody on the team at the front desk, reservations, etc. They are saying, this is the thing I'm explaining over and over again. I'm always explaining over and over again what the situation is regarding the purchasing of Broadway tickets and the various ways of doing it. Now that we have, in one shot, elegantly put all those details together, instead of having to repeat the same thing in various different ways 1,000 times, we'll say, here, look at this. We've prepared this for you. It explains everything very clearly. And so it actually saves time. It just takes a little bit of time up front, if you know what I mean. So this is a time-saving tool, not a work-producing tool in the long run. And then, of course, guests begin to organically internalize our message and communicate our key communication points to their friends. So this is definitely helping us increase our reach. Some people say, oh, you know, what do you watch? Do you watch likes? And like I said before, you know, I'm going to get likes and comments on things like pictures of my breakfast hostesses. I may not get a lot of likes for the Broadway show tickets explanation, but it's the information that people need to have a great, smooth stay. So communications like this help our reputation, and our reputation is what drives people to our business because they trust us. And I am bringing, of course, relevant visitors to my website, and you can see that on your Google statistics. Next slide, please.
So, Adele, judging from all the questions in the audience, really terrific information, and I know it's been very helpful to everyone. Let me just recap here some of the key takeaways of what Adele was talking about. So, you know, it takes a village, divide and conquer, in union there is strength. Whatever phrase you want to choose, it all comes down to smartly using all the resources at your disposal, and like Adele talked about, the staff, your guests, your agency, etc. And, you know, audiences want to be entertained with attention-grabbing stories and ones that are targeted to their interests. And they're also looking for information that is very helpful. So looking for ways to address their needs on social channels, review and meta-search sites, and of course your own website really helps with that guest thirst for information. And today, you know, we're talking to the guests now. So as Adele pointed out, you know, examining your current content and communication methods is important. Refining those messages to ensure they do a few things. They match the story you want to tell, and they're helpful and useful, like Adele's story about how they knew their guests were confused about buying Broadway theater tickets, and so how they addressed that was extremely helpful. And you know, they knew that that was at the heart of some of the things that their customers were thinking about and inquiring about. So, you know, refining the message to match the story that you want to tell, and then telling it and amplifying it on all the channels and devices being used by hotel shoppers is really key. So, Adele, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. Really, really helpful.
My pleasure.
And at this point, I'm going to reintroduce Clementine Amero, and Clementine is going to talk to us about her experience with Hotel Josef and the Maximilian Hotel. So, Clementine, over to you.
Hello. Thanks a lot, Darren, for the introduction. So yes, I'm Clementine Amero, and today I have the pleasure to tell you why content marketing is so important for us at Hotel Josef and Maximilian. We'll start with a short introduction about each property. Hotel Josef is a design hotel. We have 109 rooms, and we're in the center of Prague. We opened in 2002. And Maximilian opened in 1995, and we're a small boutique hotel well, not that small, 71 rooms. We have the same owner for both properties, and so we're privately owned, so we have a limited budget. So this is why this is one of the reasons why it's important for us to encourage as much as we can bookings directly on our website. And to do that, we want to show that we're not just an internet facade, we're not something anonymous, but we are a whole team behind, just waiting to make our guest stay memorable, and we can be trusted. We don't work with Booking.com, so I think we lose quite a lot of visibility because of that on internet. So we need to make sure that we stay visible, and we need to make sure as well that people are comfortable about booking with us directly, even if it's not the usual channel they use. That's the first reason, and the second reason is that, of course, it's a very efficient way to be in contact to our guests and get closer to them before, during, and after their stay by providing them useful information, and it helps us as well understand them and their needs better. So my first objective in creating good content for the properties is, of course, to keep the image of the properties very clear and consistent with our identity on every different platform on which we're featured. I know that the content we create becomes the face and the voice of our properties, and we are a design hotel and boutique hotel, so we need to know that this voice has to match what our guests are expecting from us. And nowadays, hospitality and service starts really long before the moment when the guests enter your property. It starts when they're already browsing the different properties on TripAdvisor, reading the comments of previous guests and reading the answers from your hotel. And then when they're checking your Facebook page to see what your team looks like, what the place looks like. And so during this phase of research, we want to be as close as possible to what we are, what we have to offer, and our image. And first to trigger emotions that will make future guests want to choose us, and also because we want to avoid any wrong idea or any false expectation which would cause disappointment. Second, this is a good way to raise our visibility and our search engine ranking, and therefore direct bookings. And the third way is, the third objective is, to be available to our guests anytime to increase our service. We're using Zopim as well, actually, which is a great tool. So we have this chat box as well. And any way that we have that allows us to communicate further with our guests.
And Clementine, yes. A couple of people, Santiago and Julimar, have asked, you mentioned, which I guess has caught many people's attention, you mentioned that you don't work with Booking.com. So the clarification is, are you only marketing through your own website, and why are you not working with Booking?
I'm not sure I understood the first part of the question.
So, yeah, they want to know, are you only distributing your hotel?
Not only.
Story?
No, but we really try to limit as much as we can our cooperation with OTAs. So we made a choice, and we are not working with Booking.com. I don't know if I should talk about.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, so basically we really focus on the bookings directly on our website, and we are on a different OTA, which is not booking.com, and then of course we are findable through different meta search. But the reason why we are not with booking.com is really just because we wanted to know if, well, we wanted to limit the commissions.
And I think essentially what you're saying is you very carefully pick and choose the channels that you want to work with, and I think every smart marketer, you know, that makes a lot of sense. I think the important thing is we know that travelers go to a lot of sites before they actually make their booking, and so, you know, you need to understand where your people are going and then make sure you have presence there.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So did I answer the question, or should I go to
Yes,
the,
no, that was perfect. That was perfect.
So as to how I created my content strategy, actually it was for me based on very simple questions, 4 questions. Who are our guests, and what are they coming to Prague for? So what I want to know is their nationality, for example, on their age average, and most important, if they're coming to us for business or for leisure. Second question is, what do they like most about us? So this is, as Adele was saying earlier, not something that I make up or that I decide. It's something that I understood by really reading all the reviews that I could find about us on TripAdvisor and different websites. And so I would think that they would come to Josef because of our glass staircase or our glass bathroom. But no, what they really like is our breakfast, our location, and our service. So I know that this is what I have to talk about. The third question is, what do we have to offer that they might want to know about? These are the things that make our property stand out, for example, or just the amenities and services that we have that make us special. And the last point is, what is our identity? So I think it's very important to represent and frame the content in a way that fits our words. Like the way we represent it is our voice, and the content itself is the words, and they both have to fit the design hotel that we are, the boutique hotel that we are. So I have actually the same strategy for both hotels. The only difference is that the answers sometimes differ. For example, I don't have exactly the same guests. They're coming more for business in Josef, and for leisure in Maximilian, so they have different expectations, they have different needs and different priorities, and this is how I will set my strategy.
Excellent.
Then the type of content guests see. I don't know if the next slide is coming, I think. Anyway, anything.
It's just a little slow, and Allison earlier sent in a question in the questions box. She said that from their experience, and she works for an agency, she's saying people also want to know about the content in and around the property, and so Allison, Clementine agrees with you 100%. So, Clementine.
Yes, actually, it's coming in my next my next slide. Absolutely. I think the type of content guests want to see is anything that makes them dream about their future or past stay, anything that trigger these emotions we were talking about earlier. So for us, it's the location, so it's Prague. So it's anything happening, cultural events. They really want to have help preparing their stay and dream about it. This is the kind of thing that we advertise through our web series, for example, or the tips of the week. We can do it with the blog posts about what's going on in Prague, or even just showing pictures of snowy or sunny Prague. Then the second thing, it's really about the properties themselves. So anything that is very specific, again, that can be useful to help them prepare, plan, or look forward to their stay. So it can be the amenities and services, like the fact that we have a fitness in Josef, or a sauna, or it can be things that really make us stand out and that are really specific to our properties. So for example, in Josef, we opened our bakery because we wanted our breakfast to be even better than it was. And so we had this vision that we wanted to have like the smell of fresh bread and fresh croissant in the morning when the guests wake up and go to the breakfast room. And so we got a baker to come from Paris and install the whole bakery, train our team, and now we have a baker preparing fresh baguettes and croissants in the morning for our guests and talking with them.
You're making my mouth water, Clementine.
I hope so. So it triggers the emotions. That's perfect.
That's right.
And so the last part I would say is our staff. It's the last but not the least, because that's the human part. That's why we are doing hospitality. We want to be their host during our guest stay, and they want to know it will be hassle-free and pleasant. They want to have some familiar touch. They want to know who they're coming to, and they want to know that in case anything would happen, for example, they lose their luggage at the airport or something, that we will help them. We will address their concern with care, professionalism, and in a friendly way, because this is what makes a trip, actually. That's what makes a stay pleasant or not. So for this kind of thing, we will post anything that shows our team smiling, happy to do their job, pictures of the new menu ideas, welcome amenities, reviews from happy guests, basically anything that shows how important our guests are to us and their opinion as well.
Excellent. And your next slide is coming up.
So the next slide is about how is our content created. So first of all, the basic is all the content which is on our website and on any other booking platform, OTA or even meta search. So because basically any other social media is leading our guests to our website, hopefully. So we want the content there to be the most up-to-date and fresh, and we make sure that we have high-resolution pictures, all recent, that all the information is updated and correct. And I also insert some weekly additional content on my website to keep them fresh. So we have something we call the tips of the week, where we make our recommendations. And then, actually, very simply, for everything that happens out of our website on our social media, either I wait for things to happen or I make them happen. So one example of things that just happen, or more examples actually, I ask every day to our chef, what is the breakfast special this morning? Or I ask our guest relations team if we have any birthday or special occasion for guests. And then sometimes things just really happen, like I'm crossing the lobby and there's beautiful light filling the lobby and creating a rainbow, so that's big bonus. Or I'm walking in the corridor and I see in our bakery that our baker created a giant bread, so that's just bonus. I can take pictures, and I always keep a constant eye on what's going on around me, and my colleagues now as well keep me informed anytime they do something. And one example of thing I made happen is our web series, Plugging Around. I wanted to create content through a video, and I wanted to have a content that would be useful for our guests. Our guests are design hotel guests and boutique hotel guests, and I think they're always interested in experiences which are a little bit different from just they're travelers more than tourists. And I wanted to show them Prague, a different place of Prague than what you can find in any normal tourist guide. I wanted to show them that Prague is not just the little center, Prague 1, which is very beautiful, but it's historical, but there are many other things happening all around in the city as well. And I also wanted to have like a friendly face, familiar, which is part of our team for it. So basically I'm hosting this little tour of Prague where I'm showing different neighborhoods in every episode, and the video is on all the TVs of the rooms, and it's also on YouTube and on our social medias and on our website.
That's a really excellent and creative idea, and something Lena in the audience was asking about. She was wondering how important localization is. Clearly it is, and you have created a whole lot of content around the city and what the neighborhoods are like, and other things that guests can expect. So, excellent.
Thank you. So basically, most of the content is sourced by me. I would say 85%, but my colleagues and our guests are as well quite active now. At the beginning, my colleagues didn't really understand the point of social media, or they thought it was kind of decoration, but I always forwarded them any tweet or Facebook or anything mentioning their kindness, their excellent service, or an upcoming stay, and they understood how powerful it is, because we can, thanks to a tweet, for example, saying, hey, I'm looking forward to my stay at Josef, we can surprise this guest coming, and they understood it, and now they're always taking pictures themselves when they do something, sending them to me directly, asking me if I want to use it, and they really became enthusiastic. And our guests are always, of course, mentioning us on TripAdvisor, which is great. But we also have some very loyal guests who are posting pictures of us on Facebook every time they come. And we even have a model who, every time she's interviewed, she mentions how much she loves Josef, and sends us a PDF of the article where she's mentioning us, and so that's just wonderful. It looks like it's a lot of work, because it's a lot of stories and a lot of things and a lot of platforms, but actually I do a lot just with my mobile. I'm walking around with my mobile phone and catching everything I see, and just with my iPhone I can edit my picture on Instagram and on IM, and put it on Pinterest, on Facebook, on Twitter. We also are on Weibo, because we want it to be visible in China. So basically, I reuse a lot of the content. The content that we have on our website or in a different platform differs in the type of the pictures. It's not the same photographer, obviously. I'm not the official photographer, but it is spread very easily. Because I'm always walking around with my mobile, I also realized quite early that it's very important to have a mobile optimized website. We do have since 2012, and the amount of direct bookings made on our mobile website is now 4 times higher than then. Thanks to all the social media accounts, we also have like direct visibility through any mobile website and applications. So and we need to go maybe even deeper with our website, but so far, so good.
Wow. Excellent, excellent insights, Clementine. Just a clarification from Lena. She wanted to know, do you adapt the content in different languages for the local area?
Not really. We are mostly in English. We have our website in, well, for China, yes. We are on Weibo, and we have like the content in Chinese. But other than that, we are only in English. And we just very recently launched our website in German as well, because we have a lot of German guests coming. And so we wanted as well to be a bit more user-friendly. But we are in English only. That was one of our decisions. To stick to one language, being quite minimalistic.
Excellent. Thanks, Clementine. And again, judging by all the great questions we got from the audience, very helpful and insightful information. So thank you for sharing that. So
thank you for inviting me.
Oh, our pleasure. Just some takeaways that we'd like you to keep in mind as we move forward is people relate to people, and so by showing the faces behind your property, you make it real, authentic, and create trust. And we saw Clementine doing that. Adele is doing that with her library collection as well. And, you know, setting the stage for the shopping experience everywhere guests are browsing, whether it's on the review sites, social sites, online travel agencies, and importantly, your hotel website is really critical. And so, you know, to answer the question, what do you want to tell your guests about the experience that they're going to have with your hotel? If you have more than one property, like both Clementine and Adele do, you know, modifying the content to capture the unique attributes of each hotel is important while keeping the core message consistent. And then taking existing content, using it in different ways to different audiences. So like taking a hotel video along with still shots from your website and then posting them on Facebook page with a new caption is a way to do it. And as Clementine just talked about, repurposing content is really the ultimate time saver when it comes to content creation. And it ensures you get the most mileage out of one content piece. And I think Clementine mentioned this, Bill Marriott famously said, today's guests enter through your digital front door before they enter physically into your lobby. So telling a consistent story across all these channels and devices that people are using really gives them the confidence to choose you over the competition. So that concludes the formal part of our presentation today, but we'd like to ask you another poll question, and it's this. Based on today's content, will you attend future webinars? And your answer to this helps us understand, A, did you find the content valuable, and, you know, are we on track with what you guys want to learn about? And that's really important to us. So we'll let the majority of folks weigh in, and so we're almost at 60% voting. I see that everybody has found the dialog box where they can answer. So I'm going to close the poll now, and 85% of you said yes, you will attend. Some of you are on the fence. So thank you for letting us know, and so we'll just continue with some final messages for you. A number of you during the presentation were asking about a single content marketing system. And so Visly is our digital marketing platform, and it's a brand new product that we launched in December of 2014, and it's our new multi-channel digital marketing system. And so it helps hotels engage travel shoppers by helping you create powerful stories about your hotel, which increases the time shoppers spend researching your hotel online to increase conversions and get you more bookings. So it really helps you deliver that story to the shoppers. Once they have the stories, then we make sure that it reaches the millions of travel shoppers consistently by publishing them everywhere that they find you online. So whether that's your own website, your mobile sites, social media sites, and the digital brochures on travel websites. And it helps you communicate the value you're providing so that you just don't sell on price. And with this is a analytics module to help you measure the success of your hotel storytelling on all of the channels. So setting yourself apart from the competition so that the travel shopper chooses you with the certainty that it's the right choice for them goes a long way. So that is a wrap. Next month's webinar is on the topic of targeting the business traveler. And as many of you have asked, we are going to send you a thank you for joining us email with a recording of the webinar. Additionally, the slides will be on SlideShare, which we'll send out in the email as well. We also have just produced an ebook, an educational ebook, on the subject of content marketing, and there's lots of valuable information in that ebook. So you can go to our website, download it, or look at the slide share content, and you'll be able to link directly to the ebook for download. So Adele Gutman from the Library Collection, thank you so much for joining us. As always, lots of great information to share and lots of excellent guidance for the industry. And
thank you, and good luck to everyone.
Thank you, thank you. And Clementine Amero from Maximilian and Hotel Josef, also really good information that you shared with our audience today, and we thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
And to our audience, you've been terrific, really interactive. We love your questions, and please keep hanging with us on future webinars. Our goal is to provide you with educational information that really helps further your hotel digital marketing efforts. So thanks, everybody. Thursday is the new Friday. So to everyone, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.